As part of today's class, we are going to start a new function or the new functionality of SAP Sales and Distribution module. So that function name is Material Listing and Material Exclusion. Okay, I repeat it. So as part of today's class, we are going to discuss about material listing and material exclusion. So this functionality, the material listing and material exclusion functionality, also works with the help of condition technique, methodology or condition technique method. Okay, and I will explain you what is this condition technique method used in material listing and exclusion. I hope you remember we use the same technology for the pricing procedure determination process. So we also will discuss one more time the same condition technique approach or the condition technique methodology to understand the material listing and the material exclusion as well. Okay, so for example, sometimes like when your client, when your company or when your client doing the business, sometimes you have a requirement, sometimes you have different kind of requirements. Those requirements are if you would like to not sell certain products to the certain people, right? It is possible, right? So when you are doing the business, so you do not want to sell some products to some customer. So there could be various reasons. There could be many reasons. So when I say many reasons, for example, your customer is residing in a different country, where you are not supposed to sell some products to that country. If in case some products are not supposed to ship or some products are not supposed to deliver to a certain country, and if in case your customer belongs to that country, so what you can do, so what you have to do. So if you do not take any control, if you do not do any setup, what is going to happen? Every time the business users, the end users or the power users or the business process owners who are handling the system or who are creating the sales orders, they may not remember, right? So as a human being, you may not remember every time, okay, whether I can sell this product to this customer who is residing in this country, or whether I can sell this product to this customer due to some other reason. So it is not possible every time to take care of that requirement for a human being, right? Am I correct or not? Sometimes the users may be remember, or sometimes they may not able to remember, right? Vijay, am I correct? Vivek?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So due to this reason, this is one requirement. Okay, this is one requirement. So that means you wanted to exclude some products to some customers. Okay, you decided as in a business process as part of your day-to-day business process, you have a requirement to exclude, okay, to eliminate selling products to particular customer. You wanted to stop selling some products to some customer. So you wanted to exclude it. You never wanted to sell certain products to their customer. So that is one basic requirement which we come across as part of the day-to-day business process. And in contrast to that, other side, what happens? Sometimes there are some products, okay, there are some products which we manufacture to a specific customer purpose. So, like if some products are ordered by a customer, some products are ordered by a specific customer, or you manufacturer or you sell those products to a particular people, a particular set of customer or particular person. So then you do not want to sell those products. You do not want to, like, you wanted to sell those products only, to that customer. I mean to say that whatever the products you wanted to deliver to that customer, you wanted to have a setup in the system. Am I correct? So that means you wanted to sell a set of 10 products, to the customer. Maybe he can buy some other products as well. But in addition to the other products, you wanted to sell those products to that customer. So then what you can do, you can set up something in the system. So that means there are two things what you come across. There are two requirements, there are two business requirements what you come across in your day-to-day business process. So one is a customer, the one requirement is a group of products should be excluded from a customer. So you have a requirement that a group of products, a set of products, you should exclude for a customer, or a set of products a customer can only buy. So that means sometimes you wanted to allow your customer, to buy only a set of products, and sometimes you wanted to exclude a set of products for that customer. So these are the two different kind of requirements. One side, you wanted to allow the customer to buy only 100 products. You wanted to allow your customer to buy. You are manufacturing 1,000 products. Your company is manufacturing 1,000 materials or 1,000 products, but you wanted to allow a particular customer to buy only 100 products. Okay, that is the one requirement. And the other requirement is you are producing 1,000 products, but out of 1,000 products, you do not want to allow the customer to buy 5 products. You wanted to exclude 5 products that customer. So a particular customer, you wanted to exclude 5 products out of 1,000. You never wanted to allow him to buy those 5 products. So that's why what you can do, you wanted to exclude, right? So a list of products which you only want to buy to a customer, that is one requirement. And the other requirement is a list of products which you want to exclude for that customer. So these are the two typical business requirements which you come across in our day-to-day business process. So whenever you have this kind of requirement, like selling a list of products to a customer, excluding a list of products to a customer, what SAP did, SAP has come up with a solution, or SAP come up with a functionality called material listing and material exclusion. So SAP designed a concept of a functionality of material listing and material exclusion to support the both requirements. That is, like selling a specific list of the products to a customer and also excluding a specific list of products to a customer. So these are the two concepts provided by SAP as part of SAP SD, that is SAP Sales and Distribution module. So that is material listing and material exclusion. So this is the background of this functionality, or this is the business requirement of this functionality. So I mean to say that whenever we are learning anything, whenever we are learning any concept, there are many functionalities. There are many functionalities in SAP SD, like pricing, material listing, material determination, availability check, transfer of requirements, account determination, credit management, tax determination, tax determination, partner determination, like there are even output determination. There are many functionalities in SAP SD. But before learning any concept, or before learning any functionality, we need to know why we are learning. So what is the basic funda, or what is the basic requirement? What is the basic requirement can be fulfilled by that application area or that functionality? So if you understand that, it is very easy to you when you go for a requirement gathering as part of doing the implementation. So whenever you are working on an implementation project, or whenever you are working on any day-to-day support or development project, so when your client says some requirement, when your client gives a requirement, you should be in a position to understand, okay, what SAP functionality, when a client gives the requirement as part of your requirements gathering, or as part of your meetings, as part of your client meetings, whenever client gives a requirement, whenever clients tells a requirements, you should be in a position what SAP functionality or what SAP area will support that requirement. So we need to know that. So if you want to be that much stronger to tell the customer what functionality of SAP will fulfill that requirement, what we need to know, every time we are learning, every time we are starting a new functionality, or every time we are learning anything in SAP SD, we need to know what is the basic requirement, or what is the basic business process or the business scenario of that functionality. If you know that, why we need to learn that, if you know why we need to learn that functionality, then it is very easy to you to suggest the client, solution to the client requirement. Okay, so this is the basic requirement of material listing or material exclusion functionality for any business. So now we are going to getting into the system. Now we are going to getting into the system how we can design this material listing and exclusion functionality in SAP system. Okay, so let me log into the system and let me open our Excel sheet as well. Okay. So material listing and exclusion in SAP SD. So now we understood that the business process or the business background, I can say, now we understood that the business process or business background of material listing and material exclusion. Okay. So let us understand how the system works, how the system supports, this material listing and material exclusion functionality. Okay, so actually, if you maintain a material listing, if you maintain a material listing, if you maintain a material listing, and if you maintain material exclusion, if you maintain material listing and material exclusion records, if you maintain a material listing and material exclusion in the system, what is going to happen? Whenever you try to create a sales order, whenever you try to create a sales order, so what is your expectation? So the user is trying to create the, or let me put, the some, so you created a listing for the customer. So your customer is Ramson Technologies, okay, and you created material listing with material 1 and material 1, material 2 and material 3. So you created a material listing, material 1, material with 3 materials, you created a material listing, and also you created material exclusion, you created material exclusion, material 5, material 6 and material 10. So these 3 materials you excluded. So you created a exclusion list. So when you try to create the sales order, so what system response you are expecting? For example, if the user tried to create sales order with material 1, so what will happen? Will the system accept it?
Yes.
Yes, because we already guided the system. Material 1, 2, 3 are allowed. Material 1, 2 and 3 are only allowed. We already created a record. We already maintained a record in the system that only the material 1 and 2 and 3, material 1 and material 2 and material 3 can only sell to the customer Ramson Technologies. So that is what we created as part of material listing. That means, what is the material listing? Material listing is the list of the products which can only which can only sell to a particular customer, or which can only buy to any customer. So a customer can only buy these 3 materials. Okay, that means the Ramson Technologies customer, according to this material listing concept, or according to this material listing record, Ramson Technologies customer can only buy material 1 and material 2 and material 3. So that whenever you try to create a sales order for the Ramson Technologies, what is going to happen? Whenever you are trying to create the sales order for a Ramson Technologies to the material 1, so the system will accept that. The system expectation is the system should allow to create a sales order, because the material 1 is part of the listing. Listing means the customer can buy that product. Okay, and then if in case I'm creating one more order, with material 5. So the product is material 5. So what kind of system behavior you are expecting? So that means if you already maintain material exclusion, and if you already maintain the material listing, you already created the records. Okay, and you created exclusion record, you created material listing record, like a condition record, you can say, like a condition record. The way how you created the condition record for the price, in the similar way, you created a record in the system that this is the listing for this customer, this is the exclusion for this customer. And now when you try to create a second sales order to the material 5, what system behavior you are expecting, or how the system behave, what is going to happen?
The order would not go through because it is an exclusion material.
That means the system will not allow you to add that item. The system The system will not allow to create a sales order, or the system will not allow you to add that item to the sales order, because you already decided to exclude. You created a record called material listing, material exclusion. You created a record called material exclusion. That means you already instructed the system, do not allow these products to the customer. That means please exclude these products to this customer in a sales order. So then what happens? So this will not work. So this will not work. Only this will work. Okay. So that is how it will work in the systematically. Okay. So previously we discussed about the business background. Now we are trying to understand how it works in the system before we start configuration, or before we start our master data, before we start configuration, before we start master data. We are trying to understand, okay, how this functionality works in the systematically. How this functionality works systematically. So from the system perspective, what happens when you create a material listing record and material exclusion record? So when you try to create a sales order with your listing products, system happily allows that and you are able to proceed further. But whereas when you try to create a sales order, with a excluded product, with a material exclusion product, then the system will not allow you to move further. The system will stop you to create the sales order, because you are trying to create an order with the exclusive product or exclusion product or excluded product. Okay, you understood? Okay. So this is the how it works in the system perspective. So now let me go to the system. Okay, so let us discuss about the configurations first. Configurations first, and then we'll discuss about the master data. Okay, so go to SPRO. So now we just completed the business background of material listing and material exclusion functionality, and also we discussed about the system process of material listing and exclusion functionality. And now we are trying to understand what configurations need to be done in the background to work that functionality at the front end, or for the business user. If you want to execute that functionality by the business user, what configurations we need to do, that's what we are going to discuss. Hello cameras, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so we are discussing about material listing and material exclusion. Okay, basically this functionality will help the business users to restrict a certain products to the customer, or to exclude certain products to the customer. So I mean to say that if you do not want to sell a list of products to a customer, if you do not want to sell, if you do not want to ship certain list of products to the customer, that is called material exclusion, excluding the materials for a customer. That is the one scenario. And other scenario, if you want to sell only a list of products, if you want to sell a list of products or that only a list of products to the customer, that is called material listing. So that is the concept what we are talking today. So if your customer is having a restriction to buy a certain products, or if your customer is having a requirement to exclude certain products, so how to handle that material listing or exclusion from the system perspective, we are going to talk about it. Okay, I'm not sure at what point you joined it, but maybe I will send you the recording after it, so that we spent like close to 20 minutes of time to understand that background and system process. Okay, so basic functions. So this is SPRO, where we do all the configurations in the background. So as a functional consultant, we need to do configurations in the background to execute that function at the front end. So the material listing and exclusion is part of basic functions. The material listing and exclusion is part of the basic functions. Okay. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to tell the system for what document types, for what sales document types, this listing and exclusion functionality should work. Okay, that means, let me put this way. So we have different kind of sales documents, right? So what are the different kind of sales documents? Like standard sales document type, standard sales document. So
Order.
yes, that means whenever you wanted to create normal sales orders, like no special process, no special sales order. Whenever you are creating very generic sales orders, very normal sales orders, then what we do, we use standard sales document type, OR, right? The document type is OR. We use the standard sales document type, OR, to create a normal sales order. Okay. For example, so if you want to create return sales order, so if you want to create a return sales order, you wanted to create a sales order to create the return, to initiate the return process, to take the goods from the customer, to process the returns. Then what happens? SAP has given different document type. SAP has given different document type like RE. So in the similar way, whenever you are creating a sales order, to give the credit to the customer or to give the debit to the customer, sometimes what happens? You may be charging more. You may be charging more to your customer as part of your billing, and maybe you may be charged less. You might be charged less, or you might have charged more to your customer. But later point, you have to give that money to the customer, right? If you might have charged more to the customer, what you need to do? You have to credit to that customer, right? You have to credit back to that customer. If in case you might have charged very less to the customer, then you have to take from the customer, right? You have to debit the customer. So to handle these things, what happens? We create two more different kind of sales orders, that is credit memo request and debit memo request. So that means, what I mean to say, that in order to process different kind of sales orders in the system, SAP has provided different type of sales orders. If you remember, so if you want, while creating the sales order, what we enter while creating the sales order, if I go and try to create the sales order, okay, So we give the order type. So this order type tells the system, what kind of sales order it is, whether it is the normal sales order, whether it is the return sales order, whether it is the credit memo sales order, whether it is the debit memo, or whether it is the consignment, whether it is the third party. Like there are different kind of orders which you handle, but this order type will tell the system, or tell the business users or the business people what kind of order it is. So at that order type level, what you need to do, you have to specify whether listing is relevant or whether exclusion is relevant or not. That means you need to, first of all, you can tell the system whether listing and exclusion can be active or can be relevant to a particular sales document type or not. So for example, so there is a written document. So returns, you do not need to use, like listing and exclusion, right? Return process is for which you already sold. Return process, the return sales order is for the products which you already sold. Then you don't need to check the listing and exclusion functionality, right? So you don't need to use that listing and exclusion. Then what you do, you just exclude. You just don't need to activate that functionality. But whereas normal sales order, you want to use the listing and exclusion. Then what you need to do, you have to activate the listing and exclusion at the document type level. So that is the main thing. Okay, first thing. Okay, so these are the different document types. Okay, you have quotation type, like you use the quotation in the business. Okay, you have standard orders. Okay, and you have the create memos. So whatever it is. So at this document type level, you need to specify what listing procedure, and what exclusion procedure you need. That means, let me put this way. So if you remember the pricing procedure what we discussed in the previous classes. Whatever the pricing procedure we defined, where we assigned it, so whatever the pricing mechanism, whatever the way how we wanted to have our pricing mechanism, where we define that mechanism in the
Pricing condition.
no. Let me explain the question. So whatever the way your pricing should work during the sales order, whatever the sequence or whatever the way your pricing mechanism should work in the sales order, where we can define that all the mechanism details under the pricing procedure, right?
Yeah.
In our pricing procedure, what you do in our pricing procedure, you tell the system. So what condition types you want, what prices you want, what discounts you want, what freights you want, and also what duties you want, and also you tell the system, okay, how a condition type, how a price has to be calculated, or how a discount has to be calculated, or how a net value has to be calculated, okay, and how a gross value has to be calculated, or how a freight has to be calculated. So this is what we do. This is what we do in while defining the pricing procedure, right? Vivek.
Yes.
Yes, Venkat.
Okay. And then what we do, we assign that pricing procedure. To where?
To the sales area and customer pricing procedure and document.
Whichever the sales area need that pricing procedure. Okay, if you have 5 different sales areas. You have 5 different sales areas. And if the 5 different sales areas need pricing in 5 different ways, if your 5 different sales areas, if your 5 different sales zones need 5 different pricing processes, then what you need to do, you have to create 5 different pricing procedures, right? You have to define 5, maybe for the practical purpose, for the practical session perspective, I only explained one pricing procedure, but in the real time, it is not like that. So if you have 5 different zones or 5 different sales areas, and where you need different price mechanisms, what you need to do, you have to create 5 different pricing procedures, and then you need to assign those pricing procedures to the respective sales area. Am I correct? Right? Swati, Vivek, you understood? Okay. So then, in the similar way, what we do, for the listing and exclusion also, for the material listing and the material exclusion also, what you can do, you can define the material listing procedure. That means you can define a procedure for the material listing. That means how your material listing should work or how your material exclusion will work. Okay. So whatever the way you wanted to execute your listing process, or whatever the way you wanted to execute your exclusion process, material listing and exclusion processes, what you can do, you can define material listing procedure and you can define material exclusion procedure, whatever the way you want during the sales order time, and then you can assign to document type. So that means what do we do here? So for each document type, whatever the way, first of all, whether you want material listing, first of all, material listing and exclusion is required for a document type or not. Okay. First of all, you need to decide whether a particular document type, particular sales document type is required a material listing and material exclusion or not. That's the first thing. And then if it is required, what you need to do, you have to assign the listing, the respective listing procedure to the document type, and also the respective exclusion procedure to the sales document type. So this is where we configure this. We configure this later point. Okay. Where is this A001 is coming, or where is this B001 coming, where is this procedure coming, that we configure the next. Okay. So just I'm very high level I'm explaining, and then I will come back to this one more time. I will come back to this step one more time. Okay. So now what we need to do, if you remember our pricing, what is PR00? PR00. What is the condition type? What is the condition type for the price, for the normal price?
It's PR00 is a standard.
Yes. So for representing the normal prices, standard price, to represent the normal price from the system perspective, to understand everyone what SAP has given. SAP has given the condition type PR00. So that means if you come across anywhere in the system PR00, what comes to your mind? You understood that, oh, it is a standard price, it is a normal price. Okay. In the similar way. So what condition type represents discounts? There are 3 different discounts: K004, K005 and K007. So what it represents? Those represents, one is the customer discount, other one is the material discount, and other one is the customer material discount. So that means what? To represent each and every element, SAP has given condition types. Even for the freight, to represent freight, SAP has given KF00, condition type. Okay, in the similar way, so here in the material listing and exclusion also, what SAP has given for listing, SAP has given one condition type, that is A001. Okay, for listing, because why do we need the condition type? If you want to maintain a condition record in the front end, if you or your business user wanted to create a material listing condition record, what they need condition type, right? You remember, if you want to create a condition record for the price, let me show you. Okay, week 11. So this is the transaction where we create condition record for price or condition record for the discount. That means whatever the price you wanted to sell for a product, whatever the price you wanted to apply for a product. So using this transaction condition record we maintain. Or if you want to apply a discount, where we do, we come here and specify the discount condition type and we maintain how much discount it is. And if you want to set up a record for the freight, then you come here week 11 and you specify the condition type freight and then you maintain the freight amount. So if you maintain condition record for the price, condition record for the discount, condition record for the freight, what happens when you create a sales order? System checks this condition record and apply that price due in the sales order, right? That is what you are understanding. Am I correct? Umera, correct?
Yes, Venkat. Yeah.
In the similar way, if you want to create a material listing record, I told you right here, so you create a record. What is the material listing? Material listing record is the list of the products which you can only sell to the customer. Material listing is a record. Material listing is a condition record. It is a condition record with the list of the products which you can only sell to that customer. That is the listing. So if you create a material exclusion record, what is exclusion record? A list of the products which we cannot sell, which we should never sell to the customer. So that means what you need to create a material listing record and also you need to create a material exclusion. So material listing condition record and material, you need to create material exclusion condition record. So if you want to create material listing and exclusion condition record, what you need? You need material listing condition type. Material listing, because you need to specify. System need to know, right? System needs to know whether you are creating a record for the exclusion or whether you are creating a record for the listing. System needs to know, right? That is the reason SAP has given different condition types. SAP has given different condition type. Okay, that is material listing condition type A001. A001 is the condition type for the material listing, and material exclusion condition type is material exclusion condition type is B001. So these condition types you need to configure in the system. These condition types you need to configure in the system. So A001 and B001. So if you want, you can change. For example, if you want to have your own exclusion type or own listing type. So this is the standard. A001 and B001 is given by SAP from the standard perspective. But for our business process, you wanted to have your own name. You wanted to identify at any point of time what is exactly. So then what you can do, you can copy this, you can copy the existing standard one, and then you can change it to G001. Okay? Genova's listing. Okay? And you can create this is your own. Like whenever you see anything, you can understand, okay, G001 is the listing type which we created for our business. Okay? And also in the similar way, what you can do even for the save it. Okay, and then we go to the exclusion. That is V001. I can copy. Okay, I can copy. I can say like since I already put G01, so I say GB01. I say GB. So my exclusion is like still I can write the name also, my name, our name, Genova's exclusion. So like this. Okay. So this first of all you need to configure the condition types. You need to configure the condition types for the listing and the exclusion. Okay. And save changes. Yes. Okay. So you see, for example, G01, there is something called access sequence. So what is the access sequence? What is the use of access sequence? Shailaja. Access sequence, basically what is access sequence? Access sequence contains all the accesses. That means all the different key combinations. All the different key combinations to maintain a record, right? That means let me explain the business requirement. Let me go to the Excel. Okay. So for example, okay. So now to create a material listing condition record, what are the different ways I can create? I can create combination
You
of
can create combination of customer material and material.
First I can create only just customer level, right? I can just create the customer level, or I can create customer or material level, or I can add any other parameters also. So whenever I wanted to create, okay, a material listing condition record using the condition type A001, okay, how does the system know how many ways, how many key combinations, how many ways I can create a record, or how does the
access sequence?
What key combinations I can use based on the access sequences. So basically, with the help of this is one access. Okay, this is basically I can say access sequence. Under the access sequence, what we do, we can put different access. One access is customer, that one combination, and other one is customer material, and something else. Like that, what I can do, I can maintain access sequence. So that is the use of the access sequence. Okay. So now, so that access sequence where it is maintained, actually for the material listing and exclusion, SAP has not given in a proper sequence. Okay, don't get confused. But once I finish everything, I will come back and explain all the linkings, all the connections. Okay, they should have given first fields, and then access sequence, and then type, and then procedure, and then assignment. So it has to go from this way to that way, but they're given in the sequence from the top to right, but actually the way we need to understand from here to there. Okay, so let us go and create the condition tables. So you see, what is the first step? The first step is create the condition tables. That means whatever the key combinations you need to make, whatever the key combination you require, whatever the key combinations you require to maintain a listing condition record, or whatever the key combinations you require to maintain exclusion condition record, those key combinations you have to define here. Like whatever the key combinations you created for the pricing, right? So customer or customer material, or sales organization customer material, or a sales organization division customer material. Those are the different key combinations, right, which you maintain as part of the condition tables. So that is the first step actually, create the condition table. Okay, so here, so what are the different ways? Okay, so the same way, like you can maintain customer material level or sales organization, distribution channel, division. That means if you wanted to make this listing or exclusion specific to a sales area, so that also you can do that. Okay, if you want to just maintain at the material level, so these are the different ways. Or if you want to use, the customer material type as a criteria to maintain the record, okay, we can do that. Or if you want to use the customer, distribution channel, and material as a criteria to use to create, the material exclusion listing, we can do that. That is the first step. Create the condition table. Okay, so you can say just give me 1 minute, okay? Checking something. Okay. So if you want to create a new table or a new key combination, so as of now we have different like up to whatever is created after 500, basically these are all created by the business view people, like consultants or the consultants. Basically the functional consultants are responsible for doing the configurations. Okay, so if I want to if I want to maintain a material listing, if I want to maintain a material listing with customer, material, division and distribution channel, then what I can do, okay, I can use my own number, okay. So 910 create first, okay. I can select the fields, okay. I can select the whatever the fields I want. I want customer, okay. I want a customer, okay, and I want division, I want distribution channel, and also I want material. So I also want the sales organization. So this is my requirement. I wanted to create a material listing exclusion record. I wanted to. So my requirement is, that means my client, my company or my client business requirement is, my company or my client business requirement is, they wanted to maintain a material listing and exclusion record with these 5 elements: customer, division, distribution channel, material, sales organization. Then I need to create a condition table first, condition table with these 5 elements, and then generate. Okay, so the table 910 has been created. One key combination, that is one key combination, right? That is, I created one key combination. I wanted to use it for listing, and I wanted to create one more key combination, one more. So key combination is a table, right? Condition table is a combination of key fields. Condition table is a combination of key fields which will be using later point of time. You place in the access sequence, and that access sequence will placed in the condition type, so that whenever you create a condition record, the system displays all the key combinations to maintain, right? Okay, create, and this record I wanted to create with sales organization, sales document type, division, material, okay, and then customer as well. So these are the 5 elements I need. So generate the record, local object, okay, go back. So now, so since I already created, this number is not available. If anyone want to use the same number to create, it will not allow them. It says it's already created. Okay, 910 and 911 is created, the two key combinations. Okay, let me go back. Okay, we created the condition tables. So, and then what we need to do, we have to create the access sequence. What does it mean? Creating the access sequence means putting all our accesses, all our key combinations in the access sequence, right? Maintain the access sequence. Maintain the access sequence. So what is our access? Okay, the standard access sequence for listing is A001. I wanted to create our own. So G01, G001, that is Genova's listing. Okay, Genova's listing. So it is copying all. Enter. So because we copied, right, whatever is already there, everything is copied, but we'll delete later. Keep hitting the enter. Oops, it has many accesses. Okay. So if I go accesses, okay, you see these are the 5 different accesses. Okay. I don't want these accesses. So since it is my own, I can delete this. Okay. I can delete all the entries. Delete all the entries. Okay. Okay, if I select it, delete this also. So everything is deleted. Okay. Now I wanted to add my own access. That is, my own access means the key combination. So what is our table name? 911. 911 I created for the 911 I created for the for us listing. Listing I created 910. Okay. Enter the table. Enter. Enter. And once you select it, you have to just go to the fields and generate it. Once you add it, select that line. Okay. And just you need to reach this fields stays the screen, and then you can save it. Okay. Now the new access sequence is created. What is our new access sequence? This one. So how many key combinations are there? Only
5.
5, no, right? How many key combinations? 5 fields. But how many key combinations? Only if I go back. How many key combinations?
Only 1.
Only 1. If you want to add one more, you can do that. Okay. If you want to add one more, okay. Let me go back. Okay, let me show you. For example, if I go and try to create condition record for the listing, I'm not sure whether you understood, VB01, I will explain later. VB01 is the T code for listing condition record, not VK11. VK11 is for pricing, okay? VK11, VK12, VK13 is for the pricing. So this is what? Material listing and exclusion. So the listing condition record T code is VB01. Okay. So what is the listing type? G001. So when I hit enter, okay. So this is the table what we create. No, this is not our table, right? I think it's still not completed. Let us complete. Okay. Let us complete. So this is distribution channel material, and then let me save it. Go back. Okay. So now we created our own condition table, and we added that condition table as an access in the access sequence. Am I correct? We created our own condition table with a key combination, 5 elements, 5 fields in the key combination, and we added as an access, that is access in the access sequence. Okay. G001 is our access sequence. Am I correct? It has one access, that is one key combination. Okay. Now I'm going back. If I go back and then first create a condition table. So this is why I did not explain. This is what it shows. All the fields, whatever the fields you need to maintain the condition table, you need to maintain for the key combination, those fields are available here. Okay. Whatever the fields, sales organization, distribution channel, whatever the field you want to maintain a key combination here, those fields are available here. Okay. That's why we did not touch this. You know that, right? For example, if you go here, what it has? Okay. 75 fields. That means As of now, how many fields you can use to create a key combination, to create a table? Total, how many are available? Now, how many you have used to create one record, one condition table?
Just one.
No. How many fields you out of 75? How many fields you have used to create one table?
We have used 5.
5. So if you want to create one more record, if you want to create one more table with 3 fields, you can select from this. Okay? If in case you need a new field, if in case you need a new field which is not in 75, it is also possible requirement, right? If in case you want a new field which is not here, then what you can do? You can go to the new entries and add that field here. Okay? And add that field here. Okay? So that is what this configuration. That is what this configuration. Maintain allowed fields. Basically, SAP has given 75. If the 75 is not enough to create this record, if the 75 is not enough to create a condition table or a key combination, then you can add that field here and you can come here and maintain the table. Okay? I hope you are able to understand. Okay? Please. Okay. So once you maintain the table or once you maintain the key combinations, you can come here and you maintain access sequence. We already completed it. Okay. So we created our access sequence G01, G01, and then we added our own access sequence. Okay, on our access sequence. And if I go back, okay. So once after completing the access sequence, what we need to do? We have to assign this access sequence to where? To the condition type. So that is right. In the pricing, if you remember pricing, what are the pricing steps or what is the condition technique methodology step? If any concept, if any functionality is using, if any okay. So if any concept, any functionality, whether it is the pricing, if any functionality, whether it is the pricing or material listing and exclusion or partner determination or the text determination, whatever the functionality it is, if that functionality is based on condition technique, the process is the same. So what is the process? First one, condition technique.
We maintain condition table.
1 minute, let me write here. Okay, the first thing, okay, condition technique. Condition technique. Okay, step 1, create condition table. So what is the condition table? Key combinations. Like what are all the different ways you need to create a condition record later point of time. Okay, those key combinations we create here as part of the step 1. Okay, condition table. And then step 2, create
access sequence.
Create access sequence. Okay, so what we do here, we place all the key combinations. Okay, for example, if you create 5 tables or 5 tables means 5 key combinations, right? Am I correct? 5 tables means 5 key combinations. Okay, so what we do, we put all the key combinations as an access. Each combination as an access. Okay, let me make you very detailed to understand. Okay, table step 1, that is key combination. So what is the key combination? First is customer, okay, and material, one key combination, okay, and then customer, material, group, one more key combination, okay, and then distribution channel, and customer, okay, customer. This is one more key combination. That means table 1, right? Table 1 or 901 table. Condition table 901. It has one key combination. And then 902, 903. Okay. These are the 3 tables. And then 904. One more table. What is the key combination? Distribution channel, division, add division also. Okay. So division. These are the 4 tables. So for example, why I create 4 tables here? The reason is for my business user, for my business requirement, they wanted to create. So let us say this is a price perspective. They wanted to create a price based on these 4 key combinations, right? Sometimes they wanted to use customer and material combination. They wanted to maintain a price. Sometimes customer and material group. Sometimes distribution channel and customer. Sometimes distribution channel, division, customer. They wanted to use. So whatever the ways they need, I need to create them as a key combinations under the table, creating the table. Okay, I create the tables. And then what? Access sequence. So what I do here, I put all these tables in the access sequence in the sequential way. So it's up to me. So what should be the first priority? What should be the second priority? What should be the third priority? So I can say, okay, I can assign here. Sorry. Okay. Under the access sequence, I do like this. Okay. Okay. And then I put the second one like this. So like this, what I can do, I can place all my condition tables in the access sequence. So what is my access sequence? Let us say my access sequence is also PR00. I'm explaining price perspective, okay? Pricing perspective, okay? So my access sequence is PR00 and I placed all the, means hide something, it's missing. Okay, so I place okay, this is condition table, create the table. That means creating the key combinations required for the business users during like condition record creation, later point of time. Okay, 1 record, 2 record, 3 records, and then add to the access sequence. Access sequence is placing all the key combinations or all the tables and then access. We call it, when you place here, it becomes an access. Access 1, access 2, access 3, access 3. And then what I can do here, I can put indicator whether system checks further or not. If I put check mark, that means once this record is found, once the value for this combination is found, system will not go further. So if I don't put, then what happens? If I don't put, system checks this. Even it finds the price, it goes here. Even if it finds there, it goes here. Even if it finds here, it goes here. System come across 4. Then what the system do? Whatever the most specific one, when the system come across multiple prices, whatever the most specific one, that becomes the active and all other become the inactive. So what is the most specific here? What is the most specific price here? Distribution channel.
The distribution channel, division, and
More
customer.
specific. More specific means more criteria. Okay, that will come active, and other prices will inactive. You saw that, right, in the sales order. There are two prices. One is active and one is inactive. Why? The most specific one becomes active and the most generic one becomes the inactive. Because if those prices for the same condition type. Okay, so this is the access sequence. So and then what? Creating the condition type. Creating the condition type. So what is the condition type? So condition type, it has its own functionality, but we assign the access sequence to the condition type. You remember? So the condition type
Yes, PR00.
PR0, condition type is PR0. And again, what we do? We assign access sequence. This is
Assign it to sequence.
access sequence. So what does it mean? Now you tell me, what does it mean? I want to make you understand this. Why am I assigning the access sequence? I have assigned access sequence PR00 to the condition type this. So why I did this? What is the use of this? Please.
Because when we look up for a price, the system has to look for a more specific price according to that access sequence.
And also, when I try to, okay, based on this, when I try to create the condition record for the PR00 condition type, how many key combinations it will come across? When I try to
For
all these four key combinations. Why? Because is there any link between this PR00 and tables? Direct link? Is there any direct link?
No, there is no direct link. It is through the access sequence that happens.
There is no direct link between the PR00 and these key combinations, but with the help of the access sequence, they are connected. So that is why when I try to create the condition record for the PR00, what the system is doing? System is bringing all these four key combinations, whatever is there in the access sequence, because I am assigning this access sequence to the condition type. Okay? Understood? I want everybody should understand this, please. Okay, and the next, and next. Okay, pricing procedure. Pricing procedure. So I am just explaining this by taking into consideration of one condition type. But in the general, there are many condition types, there are many key combinations, there are many access sequences. Okay, you understood, right? So pricing procedure. So pricing procedure is what? Standard one RV A001. So what we do here, we put all the condition types, right? PR00, whatever you need, PR02 or K004, like this we place K005 or K007. Like this we place all the condition types, and then we tell the system how it should work. So what is the basis for calculation for each condition type, on what basis the price has to be calculated, on what basis discount has to be calculated, on what basis net value has to be calculated. Like this we place all the condition types and define all these rules in the pricing procedure. And then what we are doing, once we define the pricing, whatever the pricing procedure we need, what we do here later, we
determine it.
That means determine.
No, we make it.
Assign, right? So
yeah,
whatever the pricing procedure you define here, we assign that pricing procedure to the where?
Sales area.
Sales area.
Then document type and
customer
document type.
Pricing procedure indicator, customer CPP, and then document pricing procedure indicator. With this combination we assign. Okay. For example, so this combination require this pricing procedure we assign it. Whatever it is, whatever we define the pricing procedure we assign it. So that what happens when I go back to the VA01 and try to create. Okay, let me put this in. And now, when I go and try to create, you already understood PR001. When I try to create the condition record, PR00, these key combinations will available and I maintain the price. You understood that. Now I created the pricing procedure and I assign the pricing procedure to the sales area and customer pricing procedure and document pricing procedure. When I try to create a sales order, what happens? How the pricing procedure works? Whatever the pricing procedure available under RVA 001, according to that pricing procedure, my sales order price will work. Am I correct? You understood that? That is how it works, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me what is the condition technique. This is called condition technique. Using the condition technique means condition technique is the methodology, is a sequence of steps. Condition technique is a methodology which is used to determine some value in a step-by-step manner. A condition technique is the methodology which is used to determine a value in a particular situation. How? It determines using the methodology. What is the methodology? What is the methodology generally? What is the methodology? Methodology is a step-by-step process. Condition technique is a methodology which is used to determine required values in the like sales and distribution module. But again, what is the methodology? Methodology is a step-by-step process. So what is the step-by-step process? First, create the condition table, and then create the access sequence, and then create the condition type, and then create the pricing procedure, and assign the pricing procedure to the required area. If it is the pricing, we assign it to the sales area. If it is pricing, we assign it to the sales area. Maybe if it is listing, we assign it to listing and exclusion, we assign it to something else. Okay, if it is material listing and exclusion, we may assign it to the something else. Like we are assigning to the document types, right? You have already seen, right? Like that. So basically, this is the same process. That is, I told you. Once you understood condition technique for the pricing, okay, it can be applied. You can apply the same process. You can easily understand the same process for the any functionality. Even MM side also, we have the same functionality. Not only SD. Wherever it is the same process. Create the condition table, create the access sequence, create the condition type, and create the pricing procedure. Or if it is the pricing, it is the pricing procedure. If it is the listing procedure. Right? If it is the pricing, it is the pricing procedure. If you are using the condition technique for the material listing and exclusion, it is material listing procedure and material exclusion procedure. If you are using for the partner determination, then it is for partner determination procedure, like this pricing procedure, and then assign the procedure to the wherever it is required. So this is the way how the condition technique works. Everybody clear?
Yes, Venkat.
Yes, Venkat.
Vijay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Swati? So I hope
Venkat, so the material listing and exclusion can be only assigned to the order type, right? Nothing more
I will come there.
document.
Because before that, I wanted to explain one more time the condition type, condition technique. That's why I came here. Okay, what we will do, like we will stop here. We'll continue tomorrow, and we'll finish the material listing and exclusion tomorrow with the practical session as well. Okay. See you tomorrow, same time.
Thank you, Venkat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Venkat.
Thank you.